Well, hey guys, what is up? What's going on out there today? Hey, Brent Abel here, webtennis.com. Another episode of What's the Right Shot. And what we're going to see today is a shot that is doable, but that requires less swing technique and more thinking about what part of the ball you want to hit. And I think we stopped it right about here. So let's take a look at this. If you're the team here in the front of the court that we're looking at, the best you can do is you can cover about 80% of the court at any given time. And in fact, if you can cover 80% of the court 100% of the time, you're going to really force those guys into having to go for some really low percentage shots. So I don't want you to think that when you get burned once in a while, when they go into that 20% of the court that you can't really cover, then that's just the way it is, right? It's almost like you want to force those guys to keep going into that low percentage part of the court. So in this example here, I mean, if this is you, if you're Keith back there in the deuce side and you're loading up to play a shot here, what shot are you thinking? I mean, for me, I'm probably thinking, you know what? I'm going cross-court lob with this thing. I got so much court length to work with. And as we talked about yesterday, you know, Al does a great job in terms of closing, but sometimes, you know, that being his tendency, he might get a little bit too close. And so if I know that about him, then what the heck, I'm probably going to lob. But Keith decides he's going to do something different. And he decides he's going to do this shot. I'm going to show you what shot he plays and then how to hit it, right? He takes this sharp angle cross court. And that's a nasty dipping low ball cross court that gets by Al. Here's the way to play this shot is, number one, is set up in a really kind of neutral position with a racket, right? So that your opponents really can't read it. They can't tell what you're about to do, right? You could lob from this position if you wanted to. Sure, you could try to, go up the line. You could try to go between the two players. And yet what that does is, what does it do? It kind of freezes them where they don't really know. Paul's on the left here in the front. He's kind of taking away the alley, and that might leave the middle wide open. But if you decide you want to go cross court, sharp angle, let's get around the corner of the ball. And I know everyone's going, well, Brent, come on, man. The ball's round. There is no corner. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. But in reality, you know what I'm talking about. We got to get around the outside part of the ball, if that's better for you, right? So that you naturally contact the ball with the racket tip coming through first, right? Which means that as you make contact on that outside ball, it naturally wants to go cross court. And you don't have to sort of artificially do something crazy with racket speed and that stuff. And look, I mean, his finish is pretty much right there. He hasn't gone crazy with a grip. He hasn't gone crazy with a big follow through. He's just gotten around the outside corner and made contact there. And there it is, right? So look, that's a, highlight shot, fine and dandy. But if I'm these other guys over here in the front, I'm going fine. If he can pull this stuff off all day long, I guess we're in trouble. But the reality is, if you can cover 80% of the court as a team, 100% of the time, man, you're going to really force these guys into stuff like this. Once in a while, they're going to make it, and that's okay. So, I want to hear what's on your mind today. Down below in the comments area, let me know. Any comments, any feedback, remarks, questions for sure. Maybe there's something else in the point that jumped out at you. Let me know. But I want to hear from you, right? And there it is. All right, guys, that's it for me today. As always, it's time. We got to get out there. We definitely got to help someone else have a great day today. And let's look at this point one more time, just because, you know, kind of fun. This stuff happened. But again, remember, if you can cover 80%, 100% of the time, you're going to force them into doing that. And it'll happen once in a while. Guys, hope this has been helpful today. As always, I will see you again next time.